Wow, Microsoft really did it. Now that Azure has snapped away default internet access, Azure admins now live in two separate realities. Our pre-snap environments where DOA is still alive and well, and post-snap environments where you won't have DOA at all. So here's everything you need to know about how to manage these two separate worlds. First, you need to know that some things don't work the same. Take Azure Bastion. Before, you could just go to a VM and click connect and then select Bastion, drop in your creds, and now it doesn't work. Well, that's probably because you're using the Bastion Developer SKU. Now, Bastion Developer is a free version of Bastion, and I know a lot of you have used it. The problem here is that it doesn't live in your network, so you need an internet connection to actually use it. So you're going to have to go to Configuration on the left, and then change to Basic or Higher. Then create a new public IP or use an existing one, and then you'll need the Bastion subnet. And if you don't have one of those, click on Manage and add a new one. From the drop-down here, select Bastion. Then click Add, which will take a second. Then you can just click the X here, and with the Bastion subnet selected, now you can click OK. And once that's done, go back to your host, click Connect through Bastion again, and now it works because it's running inside your network, and Bastion has a dedicated public IP address. So now it doesn't matter that you're living in private subnets. Some other problems here is that Windows won't activate because that requires connection to the internet to the Azure KMS service. And Windows thinks there's no network connection, which of course also means no Windows updates. Now, if you go back to the VM and then to extensions, go ahead and find the custom script extension. Select your storage accounts and a container, and then the script that you want to run. Add any arguments if needed, and then create. Now this is going to fail too because it can't download the file from the storage account because that goes out to the internet-facing endpoint, and you don't have a way to get to the internet. Now, as far as Nerdio Manager goes, it's just an app service that runs in your environment, which has its own path to the internet, so no worries there. But unfortunately, it does mean that deploying Azure Virtual Desktop hosts aren't going to work either. When you go through the deployment, you pick all of your details, and then you get to where you can select your join type. And that's going to be Active Directory if you want traditional AD or hybrid, and then you have Entra Cloud Join. Now, AD will work. Hybrid, it'll join AD, but it won't join Entra, and then Cloud Join is just going to fail completely. And I'll show you why. But go through the rest of the build, and then go here into the VM template. The VM, NIC, disk, no problem there at all. But the extension, which is a PowerShell DSC here, which is just another way to run custom scripts, that's going to be what deploys the AVD agents and joins it to your pool. Well, in a private subnet, we can't download those files either. And if you bastion into the host, you go into settings and then work in school accounts, nothing's here. So if you go to the command prompt and run the dsregcmd /status, you'll see we're not joined to anything. Entra Cloud Join fails because you can't reach these Entra URLs because they're only available over the internet. And by the way, if you're using Windows 365 Enterprise with Azure Network Connectivity, it won't work either, because that internet connection pipes through the Azure subnet, which is now private. So you can't communicate with the cloud service because you don't have DOA anymore. Now, there are 5 solutions to make all of this work, which I'll show you in a second. But here's the docs on private subnets. Now, private subnets won't work with delegated PaaS services like NetApp files, app services, or SQL managed instances. And that's because they rely on Azure outbound connectivity, and private subnets remove DOA. And just in case you're thinking, no problem, you can just add a gateway or a firewall. Well, that's not going to work either, because it's not just a connectivity problem. Azure needs to control the outbound path for those services, but private subnets gives you that control, and Microsoft can't have it. So let's fix all this, and you've got 5 options here. First, you can uncheck the box for these private subnets and restore DOA. And I know you're really going to be tempted to do that, but unfortunately, I don't recommend it. This is the new direction that Azure is going. And I can't say for sure, but I bet that Microsoft is eventually going to take away the ability to tick that box. And they would very much like it if all of us would start migrating our existing subnets with DOA to being private, because this is all part of their zero trust approach to the cloud. And since they made the snap happen, I don't think that they're going to back down now. Now, the second thing you can do in most cases is explicitly set up dedicated internet, which could be a public IP address, but I would almost never recommend that either because there's too many security risks, which would require a network security group on every VM and probably all of your subnets, which that kind of microsegmentation is a lot to manage. So a third option is to use an Azure load balancer with outbound rules, which I would normally not recommend either, because all of those VMs that are supported by that need to be in the backend pool, and you have to write a rule for everywhere that you want to go. So that's a lot to manage too. So your fourth option is to use a firewall, which is much better at doing all of those things, as well as protecting your environment in a lot of ways. Of course, those have larger cost, which means that the fifth option and the best option is to use an Azure NAT gateway, which we've already covered in depth in this video. Now today, the NAT gateway can only support a single virtual network, but up to 800 subnets in that VNet, and it also spans all of the availability zones in that region. You just have to attach it to the subnet that you want to give internet access to, and you're done. So now that Azure has snapped away default internet access, we all have these two separate cloud environments. So I suggest you do simplify your life and migrate one way or the other as soon as possible. And this video should help you with all that.